got reprimanded for not leaving my uniforms at work, so now I didn't have any uniforms at home. When it mattered, TLDR, military situation where I didn't have the right uniform available, got written up for not having it, made sure all uniforms were on board and available in future. But later needed a uniform at home and didn't have one due to earlier write-up. A couple of years ago I was in the Navy, and assigned duties on board a ship. At the start of the story, I was an extremely junior service member, lowest rank in my shop. Typically, on board the ship our usual uniform was coveralls, in our department, and we arrived and left from the ship when in homeport in civilian clothes. Now, we were moving up the river, about 4 hours underway, about an hour driving distance, for a week to unload weapon stores for a training exercise underway coming up later that month. Typically, when leaving the area of the port of record, which we would, for the training exercise, we're also required to have suitable transit uniforms aboard in case we pull into port elsewhere. For this week-long weapons unload, I had no plans to leave the ship, and we weren't leaving our port of record's geographical area, and would be returning to our home berth again before the upcoming trip, so I didn't prep my uniforms to bring on board, seeing no use for them. At the last minute, our medical department scheduled medical appointments on our behalf at a small satellite clinic at the weapons station. With no input of our own, and informed me I'd have a dental appointment while there. I immediately went to my supervisor with the issue, because I had no suitable uniforms for off-ship use on board, and we were required to attend medical appointments in uniform. I get written up for not having my uniforms. Now, there is no specific policies on which types or how many uniforms are required to be on board, but there are specific policies on having sea bag inspections, and what is required to be present for them, so my write-up was for not having an inspection-ready sea bag available. Copy that, makes sense. When we get home that weekend, I move all my military uniforms aboard, bringing a full inspection-ready sea bag to the ship as required. And leaving no uniforms at home. Everything's peachy. Fast forward a few years, and I have commanding officer's approval to miss an upcoming late-minute rescheduled underway due to prior scheduled leave in order to re-enlist. While I'm halfway across the country re-enlisting, my department fails an important inspection for our deployment workups. The inspectors work with the ship's command to reschedule, and they adjust the underway schedule last minute again. Now they're getting underway for a re-inspect the night before my leave ends, and the re-inspection starts the day I return from leave. The inspectors will be ferried to the ship the morning of by water taxi.